in brain, it is impossible to see first cranial nerve because that is olfactory nerves consist of 20 filial olfactory. They goes to bulbus olfactorius and telencephalon. This is second cranial nerve. Who know what is the name? That is optic nerve. It goes to optic chiasma, and then from optic chiasma continues into optic tract. And optic tract goes to subcortical visual centers. They are lateral geniculate body, superior colliculus of midbrain, and pulvinar of thalamus. And from here, central optic tract through radiatio optica goes to cortical center of visual analyzer in occipital lobe. Third cranial nerve. Who remember what is the name? Oculomotor. This is third cranial nerve. It leaves brain in fossa interpeduncularis. Next, fourth cranial nerve. What is? Trochlear. It leaves midbrain in dorsal surface at the level of superior colliculus, and then surround pedunculi cerebri and goes to orbita. Fifth cranial nerve, trigeminal. This is trigeminal nerve. It leaves pons in front from pedunculi cerebellaris medii. This is fifth nerve, trigeminal. Then sixth nerve, abducens. It leaves pons behind of pons, between pons and pyramid. That is sixth nerve. Seventh, you already know, facial nerve. Eighth nerve, that is vestibulocochlear nerve, near of seventh. Then ninth, glossopharyngeal. 10th nerve, vagus. 11th, accessorius. And 12th, hypoglossal, you already know. Now, here it is. First nerve, olfactory, filial olfactory, pass through lamina cribrosa of etmate bone. Second, optic nerve. It passes through optic canal. Third, oculomotor. Fourth, trochlear. Sixth, abducens. Leaves skull through fissura orbitalis superior. Trigeminal nerve. First, it has three branches. First, that is ophthalmic nerve. The same pass through fissura orbitalis superior. Second branch, maxillary nerve, and today you already know that nervus maxillaris pass through foramen rotundum. And last, mandibular nerve goes to foramen ovale. Seventh and eighth nerve goes to porus acousticus internus. And seventh nerve then continues into facial canal and leaves canal through stylomastate foramen. 9th, 10th, and 11th cranial nerves, you already know, they pass through jugular foramen. And 12th nerve goes to hypoglossal canal, canalis nervi hypoglossum. Now, maybe you have green pen, maybe black is the same. Thank you. I start from most difficult diagram, that is what? That is trigeminal nerve, nervus trigeminus. Who remember how many nuclei of trigeminal nerve? One motor, that is nucleus motorius nervi trigemini, and three sensory. They are nucleus mesencephalicus nervi trigemini in midbrain, that is mesencephalic nucleus. Next, nucleus pancinus nervi trigemini and nucleus spinalis nervi trigemini. And motor, that is nucleus motorius nervi trigemini. Sensory will with green color. Well, that is sensory fibers. sensory fibers goes to ganglion. Number 1, nucleus mesencephalicus. Number 2, nucleus pontinus. Number 3, nucleus spinalis. Number 4, nucleus motorius. Then motor fibers makes motor root, that is number 5, radix motoria, motor root. And sensory fibers makes sensory root, number 6. And sensory root has ganglion, that is trigeminal ganglion. And from this ganglion, 3 main branches of trigeminal nerve start. First, that is ophthalmic nerve, ophthalmic. Second, that is maxillary. And third, that is mandibular. 3 branches of trigeminal nerve. Number 8, ophthalmic nerve. Number 9, maxillary nerve. And number 10, mandibular. And these 3 nerves, each of them, gives meningeal branches, rami meningi. And meningeal branches, I put here number 11, and here, and here. Meningeal branches from ophthalmic nerve goes to dura mater in anterior cranial fossa. Meningeal branches of maxillary and mandibular nerves goes to dura mater in medial cranial fossa. And today you already know which cranial nerve supplies dura mater in posterior cranial fossa, vagus nerve. It also has rami meningi, meningeal branches. From here, ophthalmic and motor fibers present only in mandibular. Only mandibular nerve is mixed, only mandibular. Ophthalmic and maxillary nerve, they are sensory because they consist only of sensory fibers, and mandibular nerve consists of sensory and motor fibers. Ophthalmic nerve goes into the orbita, that is fissura orbitalis superior. I put here number 12, fissura orbitalis superior. And in orbita, ophthalmic nerve subdivides into 3 branches. 1, 2, 3. Number 13, nervus frontalis, frontal nerve. Number 14, nervus nasa ciliaris. And number 15, lacrimal nerve, nervus lacrimalis. Nervus frontalis leaves orbita through incisura supraorbitalis and goes to the skin of forehead and supplies it. And skin of superior eyelid the same. That is number 16, terminal continuation of frontal nerve, that is nervus supraorbitalis, number 16, nervus supraorbitalis. Nervus nasa ciliaris, it gives nervus etmoidalis posterior, number 17, nervus etmoidalis anterior, number 18. Both of them goes to nasal cavity and supplies mucous membrane. Then here it is eyeball, that is eye. And from nervus nasa ciliaris we have long ciliary nerve, nervi ciliaris longi, they goes to eye, that is number 19, nervus ciliaris longus. And nervus nasa ciliaris gives ramus communicans. Ramus communicans goes to ganglion. This ganglion from third cranial nerve, from oculomotor nerve, and name of this ganglion is ganglion ciliaria, that is parasympathetic ganglion. And ramus communicans goes to this ganglion and continues into nervi ciliaris brevis, nervi ciliaris brevis. It was number 19, nervi ciliaris longus, and then number 20, ramus communicans, and it continues into 21, that is nervi ciliaris brevis. And this ganglion gives postganglionic parasympathetic fibers, which goes to eye and supplies there two muscles, musculus sphincter pupillae and musculus ciliaris. These two muscles receive parasympathetic innervation from ganglion ciliaria together with nervi ciliaris brevis. I put here 22, that is radix oculomotoria from oculomotor nerve, from third cranial nerve, and 23, that is ganglion ciliaria, and these two muscles, musculus sphincter pupillae and musculus ciliaris. And continuation of nervus nasociliaris, it goes to medial angle of eye, that is number 24, nervus infratrachearis. And last, lacrimal nerve, number 15, it goes to lacrimal gland. I put here 25, glandula lacrimalis, lacrimal gland. Next, nervus maxillaris. You already know that nervus maxillaris, it goes into foramen rotundum, 26 foramen rotundum. This is 27 fissura orbitalis inferior, 27 fissura orbitalis inferior, 28 foramen sphenopalatinum, 29 canalis palatinus major, and number 30 canalis pterygoideus. And nervus maxillaris come to this pterygopalatine fossa. Here it gives nervus alveolaris, nervus infraorbitalis, nervus zygomaticus, ramus ganglionaris, rami nasalis posterioris, and nervi palatini. You already know it. And nervus infraorbitalis, it is new information for you. It gives nervus alveolaris superior, and this nerve makes plexus alveolaris superior, and from this plexus we have rami dentalis and rami gingivalis. It goes to gingiva or gum. That is why I put here 31 zygomatic nerve, 32 infraorbital, 33 nervus alveolaris superior and plexus alveolaris superior, and 34 rami dentalis and rami gingivalis. Number 35 ramus ganglionaris, 36 rami nasalis posterioris, and 37 nervi palatini. And here it is, we have great epitrossal nerve, 38, from 7th cranial nerve. It goes to pterygopalatine fossa, makes here ganglion pterygopalatinum, 39, that is nervus canalis pterygoidei, number 40, that is ganglion pterygopalatinum, and postganglionic fibers with zygomatic nerve, and then with lacrimal nerve goes to lacrimal gland. Then the same postganglionic fibers goes to nasal cavity with rami nasalis posterioris, and goes to hard and soft palate with nervi palatini. And last, mandibular nerve. Mandibular nerve leaves skull through foramen ovale, that is 41, I think, 41, foramen ovale, and below from foramen ovale, it gives sensory nerve, which goes to parotid gland. Who know what is the name of nerve which supplies parotid gland? Please. Auriculotemporalis, and nervus auriculotemporalis has communication with ganglion oticum. Here it is 43 from 9th cranial nerve, nervus petrosus minor, 44 ganglion oticum, and 45 parotid gland. Next. Oh, that is mandibular nerve. And mandibular nerve goes into mandibular canal. Canalis mandibulae, that is here, what is it? That is a mandible. And what is it? Teeth. And that is mandibular nerve. When mandibular nerve goes into the mandible, it has name nervus alveolaris inferior, and this nerve passes through canal, leaves canal in foramen mentale and supplies skin in the region of chin, that is 46, that is nervus alveolaris inferior, nervus 47, nervus mentalis, they are number 48, rami dentalis and rami gingivalis. And now muscular fibers, nervus blue color. Okay. Muscular fibers goes to muscles, 49, that they are rami muscularis, which supplies muscles, all muscles of mastication. They are musculus masseter, musculus temporalis, pterygoidus medialis, and pterygoidus lateralis. Then rami muscularis goes to musculus tensor tympani, number 50. Then rami muscularis goes to musculus tensor veli palatini, number 51, and they supplies anterior venter of digastric muscle, number 52. And last muscular fibers leaves nervus alveolaris inferior. From nervus alveolaris inferior start muscular branch and supplies musculus mylohyoidus, mylohyoid muscle, number 53. They are muscular fibers of mandibular nerve. And last, sensory nerve, we have nervus buccalis. It supplies skin and mucous membrane of the cheek, that is 54. And last nerve, that is, help me, what is it? Lingual nerve, nervus lingualis. And lingual number 55, lingual nerve, nervus lingualis. And lingual nerve joined with what? With chorda tympani. With chorda tympani. Chorda tympani consists of parasympathetic and sensory fibers. Sensory fibers, together with lingual nerve, goes to tongue and supplies anterior two-thirds of the tongue, and parasympathetic fibers goes to submandibular ganglion, just a moment, and from submandibular ganglion goes to sublingual and submandibular gland, together with sensory fibers from lingual nerve. Number 56, that is chorda tympani. It is from 7th cranial nerve. 57, that is submandibular ganglion. 58 sublingual gland, and 59 submandibular gland. That is diagram what is you need to draw next time, and in time of mini exam and final exam. Trigeminal nerve. In final exam, usually first branch of trigeminal nerve, what is it? Ophthalmic. And you will answer in time of final exam only ophthalmic nerve, or nervus maxillaris, and you will answer only maxillary nerve, or nervus mandibularis. Whole trigeminal nerve, I think that it is absence of questions in final exam. But you need to know everything. And all another nerves. First, olfactory nerve. Look here, that is nasal cavity, and here it is, we have specific sensory cells, and they are all two in one. They are receptors of olfactory analyzer, and they are first neuron for filial olfactory, and filial olfactory goes to skull through lamina cribrosa. I put here number 2, lamina cribrosa, and filial olfactory goes to second neuron in bulbus olfactorius, that is second neuron, and from bulbus olfactorius tractus olfactorius goes to subcortical centers. They are area subcallosa, then substantia perforata anterior, and trigonum olfactorium. From that is third neuron. Number 3 tractus olfactorius, number 4 area subcallosa, number 5 substantia perforata anterior, number 6 trigonum olfactorium. And one way from area subcallosa pass through gyrus fornicatus and finish in uncus. Here it is uncus, that is cortical center of olfactory analyzer, and here it is gyrus fornicatus. If you remember, it consists of gyrus cinguli, isthmus, gyrus parahippocampalis, and finished in uncus. Another way, that is through fornix, and fornix goes to hippocamp. That is hippocamp, and hippocamp has communication with uncus. And last way, from trigonomal factorium. The same goes to uncus, and it has communication with amygdaloid body. I put here number 7, amygdaloid body, 8 that is uncus, and 9 that is hypocamp. Here it is fornix, that is fornix. That is diagram of olfactory analyzer. Give me your textbook. Have you got? That is last page of this book. Here it is organ of smell, and this diagram of olfactory analyzer, you should know this diagram. Here it is organ of taste, and that is taste analyzer. The same, it is already clear, should be for you. Here it is tongue, that is tongue. Here it is epiglottis. Anterior two-thirds, if we speak about taste, feeling of taste, anterior two-thirds, that is, it's conduct from chorda tympani, and that is why first neuron in ganglion geniculi, and second neuron nucleus solitarius. Posterior two-thirds, posterior one-third. Posterior third of the tongue supplies, it was, here it is, was chorda tympani. Posterior third, that is ninth nerve, glossopharyngeal. It has superior or inferior ganglion, and second neuron, nucleus solitarius. And root of the tongue and epiglottis, that is vagus nerve. It is 10th cranial nerve, and it also has ganglion inferior, for example. And sensory neuron, second sensory neuron in nucleus solitarius. It is ganglion geniculi, that is ganglion inferior, and here it is the same ganglion inferior. And from nucleus solitarius, then limniscus medialis goes to lateral nuclei of thalamus, and from thalamus, tractus thalamo-corticalis, it goes through posterior cruise of internal capsule and finish in uncus. Uncus, that is cortical center of olfactory analyzer. That is diagram of taste analyzer and olfactory. That is first cranial nerve, olfactory nerve. Second nerve, today only general information, that is eyeball. From eyeball to optic nerves, right and left, goes to optic chiasma, and optic chiasma continues into optic tract, and optic tract finished in subcortical visual centers. They are in superior colliculus of midbrain, in pulvinar of thalamus, and in lateral geniculate body, that is subcortical visual centers, and from here through internal capsule fibers, through posterior part of internal capsule, goes to cortical center in occipital lobe. That is general information about second cranial nerve. Next, eighth nerve, that is vestibulocochlear nerve. It consists of two parts. Cochlear part, it starts from cochlea, that is a cochlea. In cochlea we have first sensory neuron, that is ganglion spirale, spiral ganglion, and this ganglion makes cochlear part of vestibulocochlear nerve, spiral ganglion. And vestibular part, here it is vestibule, and three semicircular canals, canalis semicircularis. Here it is receptors of statokinetic analyzer, first neuron in vestibular ganglion, and from this ganglion start vestibular part of vestibulocochlear nerve. This is cochlear part, this is vestibular. And if you remember that cochlear part goes to how many cochlear nuclei do you know? Nucleus cochlearis ventralis and nucleus cochlearis dorsalis, 2 cochlear nuclei. And vestibular part goes to nucleus vestibularis lateralis, medialis, superior and inferior. Clear it is. That is the same general information about vestibular cochlear nerve. And 3 nerves which supplies muscles of eye. Eye, if it is eye has musculus rectus superior, inferior, rectus medialis, rectus lateralis, superior oblique muscle and inferior oblique muscle. 6 muscles, 4 rectus muscles and 2 oblique, superior and inferior. And now, what is it? Midbrain. At the level of superior colliculus, we have oculomotor nerve. It consists of motor nucleus and parasympathetic. Who remember what is the name of parasympathetic nucleus? Nucleus accessorius. One first that is motor, second that is parasympathetic, nucleus accessorius. And oculomotor nerve, nervus oculomotorius, leaves midbrain in fossa interpeduncularis. And from here it goes into the orbiter, that is orbiter. And in orbiter, nerve subdivides into 2 branches, superior and inferior. And parasympathetic fibers goes to inferior branch. And from inferior branch, parasympathetic fibers makes radix oculomotoria, here it is number 4, that is superior, 5 inferior, and radix oculomotoria, that is number 6. Radix oculomotoria goes to ganglion ciliare, and here it is we have nervus nasociliaris. It gives ramus communicans, and ramus communicans continues into nervi ciliaris brevis, goes to eyeball, and parasympathetic fibers with nervi ciliaris brevis goes to eyeball and supplies the musculus sphincter pupillae and musculus ciliaris. I already explained it in sorry. Here it is. We already said about radix oculomotoria, ganglion ciliare, and muscular fibers supplies ramus superior. It supplies musculus rectus superior and musculus levator palpebrae superioris, and ramus inferior. It supplies musculus rectus inferior, musculus obliquus inferior, and musculus rectus medialis. Next, the same in midbrain. At the level of inferior colliculus, we have nucleus of trochlear nerve. And this nerve leaves midbrain in dorsal surface, surround midbrain, goes into the orbiter through fissura orbitalis superior, and in orbiter it supplies only one muscle, musculus obliquus superior oblique muscle, musculus obliquus superior. And last, 6 cranial nerve. It has, if you remember, that is colliculus facialis of facial nerve, and inside of this colliculus we have motor nucleus of abducens nerve, and this nerve leaves pons, goes to the orbiter through fissura orbitalis superior, and supplies only one muscle, musculus rectus lateralis. Abducens nerve, 6th nerve, it supplies only one muscle, musculus rectus lateralis. Trochlear nerve, the same, one muscle, musculus obliquus superior. All the other muscles of the eye receive innervation from oculomotor nerve. Well, next time, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and eighth cranial nerves, all another cranial nerves. Your questions?